This is Eric from Pack Hacker, and today we're taking a look at the ALPAKA Toiletry bag, which I've been testing for the past 2 weeks. Let's dive in. So the primary material that we're working with on this pouch toiletry bag, whatever you want to call it, is Axoflux 210D ripstop nylon. So I'm not sure exactly what that means. I think it's just a fancy word for the material that ALPAKA is using here. But as you can see, it is a ripstop texture, fairly lightweight and also pretty highly water resistant. So that's going to keep spills out from the inside or the outside. So if you have a leak inside, it shouldn't get out and ruin everything in your bag. And if something spills inside your bag on the outside, it shouldn't get inside of here very easily either. So I like the look of this. It only comes in black right now, which I think is probably a good color for a toiletry bag. Kind of goes with everything too, depending on what bag you bring, but you might want something a little bit more colorful. But it has YKK zippers, as you can see here. AquaGuard finish there, just nice PU coating to keep, again, water in or water out, depending on where a leak might happen. So overall, I think it looks very sleek. The poles might be Hypalon. I think if they were, they would have advertised that, but they're very easy to grab onto. When they're wet, you can still grab onto them, especially with that little bit of fabric there. I can't think of the word right now, thread or whatever it is, seam. Very easy to hold on to, just overall very well designed if you ask me. Here we have a little logo tab. It's kind of hidden in the corner, which I like because it's not really out there and in your face. So this almost kind of looks like a sling. It's kind of joking like how blurred can the line between sling, toiletry bag, and tech pouch become. But jokes aside, I think this thing does look very nice. Got 2 attachment loops here on the back side, so you can attach this inside your pack. It does come with this wrist strap just with it, so you can leave that attached, or if you want to stow it inside the bag when you're not using it, or just take it off completely, you can do that. This is nice though, because like if you're going to the bathroom on the flight, like if it's a red eye or something like that, or if you're staying in a hostel, you can just put this on your wrist and walk with it instead of having to like kind of carry it as a clutch. So I do like that this is included. It's also really easy to take it off, and you can use these for other things as well if you want to, by attaching it elsewhere, or you can even hang it on a hook. It's not a huge thing to hang on a hook, so this is more helpful for hanging on a hook, but you can do it if you want to. There is a little pocket back here. I didn't really find a use for it personally. I actually took this off and stowed this in there for a little bit, but if you don't have a ton of stuff inside here, it can be kind of easy for this to slide out. So not as super useful for me, but it is there, so you can use it if you want to, maybe Band-Aids or something like that. And it is worth mentioning, this is not a 3-in-1 bag, so if you need toiletries to go through the airport, they might require you to have a 3-in-1 bag, so you'll need that extra, or stow it inside here and then take it out. So if you found this video helpful so far, make sure you throw a like on this video and subscribe to the channel so we can continue making content like this to help you travel smarter. But it's time to go inside of here, and I kind of use this as, there's obviously 2 pockets, and I didn't stow anything inside this front pocket, but what I did was, when you're traveling or when you're going somewhere, sometimes you want quick access to something. So let's say again, you're taking a red eye or something like that, and you just want to brush your teeth. You don't want to just carry your toothbrush, maybe for whatever reason you don't want to do that. So you could stow your toothbrush or whatever you want quick access to, whether that be a wet wipe or something like that, stow it in the front pocket, so when you go to the bathroom, all you have to do is open this, grab what you need, and go. There's no organization inside of here or anything like that, and it does share space with the main compartment. There's a little bit of extra space, so you're always going to be able to stuff something inside there, but I like that. Using it for that purpose, you could use it in different ways. If you have a different way that you'd use it, I'd love to hear about it, but that is how I used this secondary compartment. Moving into the main compartment, you'll see why I would do that. There is quite a bit going on here, so if you wanted to get something quickly, it's obviously easier to get it quickly out of this front secondary compartment. So I'm gonna start with the middle here. As you can see, we have this divider. So I'm just gonna pull out a few of the things that I have stowed in there. Just a couple of toiletry items there, so you can get a better look at it. So there is a lot of space to work with here, and this gusset kind of holds things together, but it's still, there's a lot of, just ample space there. It doesn't go all the way down to the bottom, so in theory, if you have a large flat item, you could stow it on the top here or on the bottom. It's not great for really big things, but again, if you're traveling, you're probably not bringing a big old thing, but just worth noting that if you have like a big, like a big hairbrush you can't live without, might not be a great place to stow that. You can go long ways here, just depends on the gear that you're bringing. I like this X, it works well for me, especially if you're bringing like toiletry containers, the little squeezy ones. You can put them in these different places, put a hairbrush there, whatever you need to bring. I like this divider. It also stays out of your way, and it just is very efficient. It doesn't really take up much space when this is closed, so I do like that design. On this back wall here, we have a large zippered compartment. I just have some deodorant and a Castile soap in there right now, just to show you can fit quite pretty big items inside of there. Show you a little bit closer. It is crafted from mesh, so you get a little bit of stretch there, so you can stow those larger items inside there. But because it is mesh, if there was a leak on the inside or the outside of this pocket, stuff's going to be able to get through there. So that's something to consider. Again, you probably want a 311 pouch, or maybe even just a quart-sized Ziploc baggie that you put inside of here with your liquids. 1 for the airport, and 2 just to kind of make sure that leaks don't happen and your hairbrush doesn't get all goopy. So again, just something to think about. On this side, we have another mesh pocket, and this one is raised. So I really like this pocket. So this is where I've been stowing a toothbrush, even though this one is completely encapsulated, a travel toothbrush inside of plastic. If you have a regular toothbrush or just something you don't want to be in the mix of all the other stuff, like if you have your razor inside here, there's bound to be some hairs and stuff like that that kind of float around. And if you also have your toothbrush there, there's a chance hairs and stuff are going to get on your toothbrush. So if you put it up here, it's raised. So I know that it's not going to be sitting like this all the time, but generally speaking, it is away from any goop or hair or anything like that that gets in the bottom of the main compartment. And even if it is bouncing around, you have that little bit of mesh protection. So super fine, maybe some super fine stuff's going to reach in there, but this is a different mesh. So as you can see, it's a little bit, finer than this one over here, smaller holes. So I think that is a pretty good design if you ask me. But overall, I like the design of this. It's not going to work for everybody. Again, if you have those big things, it's not going to do super well inside. And I like that it stands up, but if you do, depending on how you pack it, if you have heavier stuff up here, you don't have to put a toothbrush there, you can put anything there, it can topple over one way or another. But again, I really like this thing. It really blends in with a lot of the stuff that we test here at Pack Hacker. Obviously, if you follow this channel, you know that we do a lot of different black gear, black backpacks, travel backpacks, day packs, all that kind of stuff. If you want something, again, for larger gear or something more saturated, this is not the toiletry bag for you. But overall, as I said, very happy with how the materials, the hardware, and the organization has held up. So there you have it, the ALPAKA Toiletry bag. Thanks for keeping it here at Pack Hacker, your guide to smarter travel. We'll see you in the next one.